just gone 10 o'clock. About 3,500 bikes are expected in Albany by the end of the week, and each chapter in Australia sends 2 representatives to the committee meeting. There's about 4 magazines a year, and the subscription to the Ulysses Club is minimal. It's I forget what it is, but it's very, very low. Yeah, that's the one that goes down to Port Lincoln.
We have now Shane Riley last night giving the weather on Channel 10 because I was waiting for the committee fruit to people at discounted prices. I have heard prices offered as low as $300 a tonne, and now $300 a tonne in Clare, given the yields that we get here, it's just not even hardly economic to pick it at that price. So guys are saying no, they'll leave it on the vine at that price, but when the price comes up to between sort of $450 and $600, if it's in that vicinity, people will have a nibble at it and go and pick it.
So have you heard of any growers who have sold it just because they need that cash flow?
Yeah, I have, and they've sold fruit at the sort of $475 a tonne, $500 a tonne mark because they've got nothing else and they need some income. So if they don't take that, they'll get no income at all. But I have heard of one grower who's stood by his principles and taken the moral high ground and refused to sell his fruit at that price, which I think is very commendable, and he's certainly, again, probably the exception rather than the rule.
So do you think the majority of growers in the Clare Valley will have an average season this season with the prices down a bit, but if they've got some contracts? Or do you think overall, as an average, people are having a well below average season?
I'd say unless you're fortunate enough to be one of those growers who's locked into a contract that's getting $1,500 or $2,000 a tonne for their fruit, most growers in Clare will be coming out this year financially in the red. I can't see that too many of them are going to make. If they are going to make a profit, it's going to be a very slender one. The lion's share of them are going to be hurting financially. Those guys that do make a profit, they're probably in a position where the continuity and the need for that fruit at the top end of the market is going to mean that they're going to make money every year. The contracts are such that they're not going to miss out because that wine goes into the premium bottles that sell for $50, $100 a bottle.
Chairman of the Clare Region Wine Grape Growers Association, Frank Nichols. Well, Watervale wine grape grower Anthony Kerner is more than halfway through harvest. He has most of his grapes contracted for the next 2 years, but he fears what could lay ahead.
We'll get through for a couple of years, but after that it's going to be very difficult. We'll have to make decisions about what we leave in the ground, what we pull out, and these kind of things, if it hasn't changed until 3 years' time.
Is it nerve-wracking when you think how quickly 2 years can fly by?
Yes, it is. It is very nerve-wracking, so I know that's why we've got to be thinking about it now. We've got to be active about it now and future.
So you're just going to try and hang in there for as long as you can until things start to turn back? Is that what it's going to be about? The growers that hang in there are left standing at the end?
Yeah, there'll be a certain amount of that. There's also, because grape prices are poor, there's a lot of, we've got, that was planted in the 70s and 80s and it's finished, so it's probably given us, well, it's not productive enough anymore, so it's probably given us an opportunity to renew that and to pull out and restructure, because if the grapes aren't worth that much, well, then it's probably an opportunity to look at it that way. But yeah, there'll be some that'll stick it out, there'll be some that won't make it, I don't think, and some of these hard decisions are going to have to be made. They're going to have to review their whole operations and if they've got the passion for it and all those kind of things are going to come into it, I think.
Have you got any grapes that you haven't sold?
No, thank goodness. We sold the last of them yesterday, actually, so we've been fortunate in that respect, but it's been a lot of work. It's not like the old days we had an agreement with the wine company for so many years and they took everything. It was just virtually pick the grapes and deliver them. And now you've just got to work very hard at selling the fruit and trying to get the best prices you can.
So did you sell them for rock bottom prices?
Well, they're sold, they'll go onto a quality grade grid, so it depends what quality they end up at, what will get paid. But it won't be exceptional prices, I can guarantee you that.
Watervale wine grape grower Anthony Kerner ending that report from Campbell Jack.
Many reports from southwest Queensland.
Heavy showers have been moving through the Charleville area since late yesterday. The downpour upstream has put the town back on flood alert, with a warning siren activated about an hour ago. Bradley's Gully is expected to rise another 1.2 metres and peak at 2.5 later today. The local disaster team has been meeting to discuss options. Some homes along the gully have water under them again, and the local mayor Mark O'Brien says low-lying areas are at risk.
It has come up very, very quickly in the last, I think it went up about 3/4 of a metre in about half an hour.
Business owners in the centre of town have been rushing to put sandbags along their doors before heading home to take care of their houses. Karen Vinnie, ABC News, Charleville.
Indonesia's President Susilo Bambang Yudhoyono will address a joint sitting of Federal Parliament next Wednesday. Manager of Federal Government Business Anthony Albanese has announced arrangements for President Yudhoyono's visit next week and the United States leader Barack Obama's tour later in the month. Parliament will be recalled for Mr Obama's address on March the 23rd. Mr Albanese has defended the extra cost involved in bringing MPs back to Canberra to hear him speak.
I don't think there would be any Australian who would think that it was inappropriate for the Parliament to hear from the President of the United States.
Go left on the roundabout, first exit, then
2:15, and there's the Southern Ocean. We're in Ceduna.